Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima. Welcome back to Blue Boards. This time we're going to be taking a look at Onitama by Shinpei Sato. And this box kind of looks like a wine bottle if you stare at it for long enough, according to someone I played this game with, so let's just ignore that for now. This is probably going to be the shortest Blue Boards video on this channel because frankly the game is so simple that it doesn't really need that much explaining. You've got your move cards down here. Your pawn starts on the black square and it can move to any of the coloured squares. So just to give you an example, if we were to use rabbit with this blue pawn here in the middle, he can move northeast to here, east 2 squares to here, or he could move back to here. You can move to any space as long as it doesn't throw you off the board or into one of your own pieces. But if it throws you into an opponent's piece, you simply take that piece. And you win the game in one or two ways. You take the opponent's master pawn, which is the obvious big tall one, or you can get your master to where the other master is starting. So if you manage to move him there, that's it, the red master has won. And already this gives the game a fair bit of strategical depth because not only do you need to protect your master at all times, you need to try and get him as far to the other side as possible where all their pawns are going to be starting, and therefore it makes it the most dangerous play. So it ends up being a nice little back and forth there. But the real genius of the game comes with these move cards, because these move cards add a lot to the game while simultaneously compressing it, so that you don't have to worry about learning about the Bulgarian somersault or the intercontinental ballistic missile in chess, because there isn't that many moves you have to worry about. You've only got to worry about the two in front of you immediately, and the one you're going to take and the moves the opponent are going to have available to them. And thankfully they're laid out in such a nice way that it's very easy to just look at the opponent's cards, reference back to the board and see, oh, I'm not going to be able to go to this space, this space, this space, or this space because they've got it all covered. I need to try and find out a way around that while simultaneously not feeling too overwhelmed because there's not 1,000 branches off of every potential move. And as a result, this works way better for me personally as someone who can't really think that far ahead over something like chess while still maintaining that neat level of strategy. Because I can think, okay, if I use rabbit, I'll be taking horse and that'll give me a little bit of forward's pouncing power, but he'll get rabbit and that means he'll be able to jump a little bit to the right. So I need to try and avoid where all his pawns are at any one time. And it just works. It works really well, and it's so simple that it's easy enough to teach to more people than you otherwise might expect. But of course there's a little bit of variety in it too, because those are only 5 move cards and you've got 16 in the entire deck. So you've always got a little bit of varying strategy to think about, like in this game where the dragon might end up being one of the most important cards of the game, but if you end up doing something like replacing them with some more straightforward, quite literally, they let you move straightforward movements, suddenly the game ends up playing completely differently because you've got a lot more of vertical space that you need to worry about just by changing out a couple of cards. And it even goes so far as to determine who goes first by what the 5th card is drawn at, because in the corner of all the cards here, they've got that pawn's color. So you can just be like, okay, the 5th one drawn was red, so red goes first. So you don't even need to worry about doing something like a coin flip or Chwazi. So it just works. It's genuinely incredibly simple, but still has plenty of room for strategy, tons of potential, and 2 people who get really good at this game could get really, really damn good at this. And it is immensely satisfying to pin your opponent in using only 5 different moves that are available to you, using nothing but your wits, good positioning, and a good head on your shoulders. Also helps out that the game is gorgeous because it's got this lovely neoprene mat with some great this lovely neoprene mat with some great art, and you've also got these really nice pawns as well that just help communicate the atmosphere. They're nice solid pieces of plastic and they're nicely sculpted and they just fit the part. Also helps that the box is great as well. It doesn't take up that much space, although admittedly the horizontal side of things is quite annoying, but when you unfold it, the manual goes there, and then all of your pawns, your cards, and the neoprene mat just stick very nicely in there. It doesn't feel like it takes up too much room for what it is, and it just does a good job as that as well. And the manual is well written, does what it needs to do, has a nice little bit of flavor on the inside. Only downside, I should say, is that it's incredibly tall in order to fit in the box, but, I mean, that's what the box looks like. What do you expect? So yeah, that's Onitama. I honestly have nothing bad to say about it, other than the box is a little bit weird. It's got some fantastic strategy behind it. 2 different routes to victory will always help out the strategy side of things. Being able to deal out different moves at the beginning of every game is really nice, helps vary up the gameplay a fair bit, and it just works as a concept. It's incredibly simple, of course, but I've never found that to be a problem, and as a result, it comes highly recommended. I've enjoyed every game I've played of this, and I hope to go on to enjoy a few hundred more. With that said, this has been Blue Maxima. I'll see you all next time.